Well, welcome to the sun, and welcome to a beautiful day on the porch. Proverbs 13, we're going to jump to verse 8. But the ransom of a man's life is his wealth, but a poor man hears no threat. Okay, now I'm going to tell you a bit about my father. My father had a great sense of humor. Well, not sure about a great sense of humor. But there was a time when I was growing up that people were kidnapping people. And my father always said, if somebody kidnaps you, when they get you in the light, they'll bring you back. He wasn't too worried about the ransom he would have to pay. Now, I don't know if he was teasing or if he was getting to the point that I'm not going to pay a lot of money to buy you kids back. I think it was a joke. However, we'll never know. My dad had a real odd sense of humor. But there was a time in life when the ransom, people would be kidnapped and they would be held for ransom. And I always said I'm not worth the money because it's money and then it's manipulating people. But if you look at the definition, what is a ransom? Well, the ransom is what somebody has to pay to get something back. When I was, I think I was 5. We didn't do Christmas as kids, but we did get a gift. And then we often went to Florida, and so that was the bigger thing. We were thrilled we could go down south. And before we left, I got my gift, and my gift was a doll. And I do believe I might still have it somewhere. Anyway, and we went down to Florida, and I had brothers and sisters that teased me. I guess sister and brothers that teased me. And we were driving one day. We spent the night in a hotel, heading home. And I wanted my dolly, and I was in the front seat. And we had an old red Impala, I think. And my mother said, "Give her dolly." "Well, we don't have it." You know, all the grunting that goes with 4 kids. And finally they realized nobody had the doll. By that time we were hundreds of miles away from the hotel, and my mother, they stopped and called, and they said, yes, they had the doll. They would ship it home. Well, my mother went to get it off the train, because that's how you shipped things. No Amazon Prime, no UPS. It was a train. She paid more to get the doll off the train than she had paid to buy the doll. That's your ransom. A man's life. The ransom of a man's life is his wealth. So people really don't ask for ransoms from people that don't have anything. It's the millionaires. It's the people that have something that's of value. And so it's your wealth. But a poor man hears no threat. So we have the ransom of a man that has wealth, which would be a rich man. And then we have the poor man that is not worried about anybody going to take him and steal him and ask for a ransom because he has nothing to offer. I think that might have been what my father was getting at. So what does it say? It doesn't say we have to walk around in fear that people are going to take us and ask for our wealth. But it does kind of talk about the fact that if we have wealth, other people are going to want it. And sometimes at the cost of threatening people's lives. But a poor man, a man whose earthly wealth is not important, he doesn't even worry about it. He doesn't have to worry about sleeping at night. And actually, a poor man doesn't even worry about locking his doors because he has nothing to protect. But a man that has wealth, he has a lot to worry about. He has a lot of stress. So Matthew kind of addresses that. He says, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust destroy and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure, there your heart will be also." Okay, let's think about what Jesus said. If a ransom of man's life is his wealth, Jesus is saying, don't store up wealth down here. Put it where it matters. Which is why you support missionaries and ministries and you give money to places that help people. You don't put it in your savings account. You don't go buy that 15th pair of blue jeans or that 3rd pair of boots that you don't need. You don't invest in things that are earthly. You invest in things that have eternal matter. And a poor man, though a poor man may have nothing on earth, a poor man will have laid up treasures in heaven that have value. And if we're not living here, okay, that might be a surprise to some of you that we're not going to be here for long. If we're not here for long, then where are we going to be? I would rather have what I have accomplished be something I can be with eternally. Which are the people I loved? Which are the blessings by donating to people, by supporting missionaries, to supporting churches that are doing things overseas, by adopting a kid in an orphanage, by supporting Christian schools in Africa. Those are the kind of things that my wealth can go to, and nobody's going to steal it, because it's an investment in people. And so what Jesus is saying is, where your treasure is, your heart's going to be. And people can't take a treasure from your heart. The ransom they demand is your wealth. People cannot take the treasure inside your heart. So think about this week as you clean all the treasures in your house, and you mow around the treasures in the yard, and you fill your treasures with gas and change the oil. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be. Something to think about.